In a quiet field in rural Georgia stood a monument that nobody asked for, nobody claimed, and nobody could agree on. For over 40 years, it towered 19 feet high, covered in cryptic messages about humanity's future. Then, on a summer morning in 2022, it exploded. Today, we're diving into a story of the Georgia Guidestones, America's most mysterious monument that sparked conspiracy theories, religious outrage, and questions that remain unanswered even after its destruction. The mysterious appearance. Our story begins in June 1979, when a well-dressed stranger walked into the Elberton Granite Finishing Company in Elberton, Georgia, a small town known as the granite capital of the world. The man introduced himself as Robert C. Christian, though he made it clear that this wasn't his real name. He had an unusual request. He wanted to commission a massive granite monument, nearly 20 feet tall, with very specific instructions. But this wasn't going to be a typical memorial or statue. Christian wanted something far stranger. He presented detailed specifications for a structure featuring large granite slabs inscribed with messages in 8 different languages. The monument needed to be aligned, astronomically, functioning as a compass, calendar, and clock. And perhaps most importantly, everything about the project's true sponsor had to remain completely anonymous. Joe Fendley, the president of the Granite Company, initially thought it was a joke. The project would be massive, expensive, and frankly, bizarre. But Christian was serious, well-funded, and had done his homework. He chose Elberton specifically for its high-quality granite and skilled craftsmen. After consulting with Wyatt Martin, a local banker who agreed to serve as the project's intermediary, Fendley decided to take on what would become one of the strangest commissions in American history. The construction. The construction of the Georgia Guidestones was an engineering marvel. The structure consisted of 6 granite slabs weighing over 230,000 pounds in total. 4 upright stones, each standing 16 feet tall, surrounded a central pillar, all topped with a capstone. The precision required was extraordinary. The monument was designed with astronomical features that would make ancient builders proud. It included a hole drilled through the center stone that aligned with the North Star, a slot that marked the winter and summer solstices, and an opening that indicated the day of the year at noon. This wasn't just art, it was functional astronomy carved in stone. The cost was substantial, estimated at around $100,000 in 1980 dollars, which would be over $350,000 today. The money came through anonymous wire transfers channeled through banker Wyatt Martin, who became the only person to know R.C. Christian's true identity. Martin signed a legal agreement to never reveal the name, and he took the secret with his grave in 2021. On March 22, 1980, the Georgia Guidestones were unveiled to the crowd of about 400 people. What they saw would spark debate for the next 4 decades. The 10 Commandments Guidelines. Carved into the granite slabs in 8 languages, including English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian, were 10 guidelines for humanity. The monument also featured shorter messages at the top in ancient languages: Babylonian cuneiform, Classical Greek, Sanskrit, and Egyptian hieroglyphics. The 10 guidelines read like a manifesto for a post-apocalyptic world. 1. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. This was immediately the most controversial, as the world's population was already over 4 billion. Was this advocating for mass depopulation? 2. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Critics saw this as promoting eugenics. 3. Unite humanity with a living new language, a call for global communication or loss of cultural identity. 4. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason, prioritizing logic over emotion and religion. 5. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Sounds reasonable, but who defines fair? 6. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. A push for global government? 7. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Anti-bureaucracy message. 8. Balance personal rights with social duties. Individual freedom with collective responsibility. 9. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Almost poetic but vague. 10. Be not a cancer on the earth, leave room for nature. Environmental conservation message. These weren't just guidelines. To many, they read as a sinister blueprint for a new world order, complete with population control and one world government. To others, they were philosophical musings on how humanity might rebuild after a catastrophe. Theories about R.C. Christian. The identity of R.C. Christian became an obsession for researchers and conspiracy theorists. The name itself was likely symbolic. Christian could refer to the Rosicrucian Order, a secret society dating back centuries, sometimes abbreviated as RC. The mysterious benefactor even mentioned representing a small group of loyal Americans who wanted to leave a message for future generations. Theories ranged from plausible to wild. Some believed it was commissioned by members of the Rosicrucian Order or other secret societies. Others pointed to wealthy environmentalists concerned about overpopulation. The more extreme theories claimed it was erected by the Illuminati, Satanists, or globalist elites planning mass genocide. One popular theory identified Ted Turner, the billionaire media mogul and Georgia native known for his environmental advocacy and controversial comments about population, as the potential sponsor. Turner denied involvement, but the speculation persisted. Some researchers suggested it was Dr. Herbert Kirsten, a physician interested in eugenics and population control, though this was never confirmed. Author Brad Meltzer invested the mystery and suggested it might have been Robert C. Christian from Iowa, a man interested in conservation, though evidence was circumstantial. The truth is, despite decades of investigation, R.C. Christian's identity remains unknown. Wyatt Martin, the banker, passed away without breaking his oath of secrecy. The monument's features. Beyond the inscriptions, the Guidestones were filled with intentional design elements. The astronomical alignments weren't just for show, they demonstrated sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics. The structure was meant to function long after modern technology might fail. A time capsule was supposedly buried beneath the monument with a tablet indicating when it should be opened. However, the date was never engraved. When the monument was demolished in 2022 and the site was excavated, no time capsule was found, adding yet another mystery to the pile. The choice of 8 modern languages suggested a message intended for all humanity, not just Americans. The inclusion of ancient languages implied the monument was meant to survive long enough to become an artifact of a lost civilization. Controversy and vandalism. From day one, the Georgia Guidestones were controversial. Local churches condemned them as satanic. Some called them an affront to God. The population control message especially drew fury from religious groups and conspiracy theorists alike. The monument was vandalized multiple times over the years. In 2008, the stones were spray painted with phrases like "Death to the New World Order." In 2014, a cube was mysteriously added to the capstone and later removed, with MM and JAM carved into it, along with numbers 8, 16, 20, 14. The meaning remains unknown, though many saw it as a cryptic message or date. Despite the controversy, the Guidestone became a tourist attraction. Thousands visited annually, some out of curiosity, others seeking to perform rituals or protests. The small town of Elberton was divided. Some embraced the tourism revenue, while others wanted the Devil Stones torn down. The 2022 bombing and demolition. At approximately 4 a.m. on July 6, 2022, an explosion ripped through the Georgia Guidestones. Surveillance footage captured the moment. A blast destroys one of the 4 outer slabs. Debris flies everywhere, and a car speeds away from the scene. The damage was severe but not total. One slab was obliterated, others were damaged. The structure still stood, albeit unstable. For safety reasons, officials made the decision to completely demolish what remained of the monument that same day. By evening, the Guidestones were gone, reduced to rubble after standing 42 years. The investigation was immediate. The GBI released surveillance footage showing a silver sedan leaving the scene, but no arrests have been made. Theories about who bombed the monument range from religious extremists to government agents to individuals who believe conspiracy theories about the stone's purpose. Reactions were mixed. Some mourned the loss of a unique piece of American mystery, others celebrated, calling it divine intervention or justice against a satanic monument. Many noted the irony. A monument about preserving humanity was destroyed by humans. The Georgia Guidestones stood for 42 years as America's Stonehenge, a monument to mystery, controversy, and unanswered questions. Their destruction in 2022 didn't end the story. It just added another chapter. Somewhere the truth about R.C. Christian and the real purpose of those stones exists, locked away in secrets and may never be revealed. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this dive into one of America's strangest mysteries, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.